Right, everyone, we're back. Apologies for the breaking transmission. We have to catch up on the runs that we moved. Mumin, they're opting for HE, trying to open up the board a bit more, but Dobra, they're saying no, nothing for you. Playing BAP. I mean, the stride hook is still there if you have a 7 letter, if you have a bingo that maybe starts with the S, or the S is the second letter starting. So BAP there was played, and I saw a pretty interesting turn of Mumin just playing SED. And I mean, the only hook I know of SED is U, which is used. So I'm not quite sure Mumin is threatening anything, because okay, there is one U on scene from his perspective, but Dobra has the U already, so there's nothing to worry about for that lane. And the only obvious thing to block now is just playing anything down tried. Maybe again a loft, or just anything there to obstruct a 7 letter bingo from playing in that lane. But aside that, we can see Dobra here is tracking and making sure he's not missing anything. I mean, there are words like maybe list serve that could play ending with V. But I mean, if he tracks correctly and he has the blank, is U and R. Yep. And then from his perspective, the unseen pool here would be correct. Gronnel. And then is, regardless of the combination of tiles that Moomin has, there are no 7 letter bingos starting with S. So in actual fact, there is absolutely nothing for Dobra to be worried about. He's ahead by almost 80 points. I think they should be 79 points. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit worrisome, the set of tiles that he has, but there should be nothing for him to worry about. So he doesn't want to be too careful. Maybe he's thinking there could be something like Slonger or something like that. But just playing it absolutely safe, knowing there is no way for him to lose after blocking that spot and just playing RE. And then Momi, knowing the game is gone at this point, there's no point wasting too much time. He's gone for Gorzi, which scores pretty well, 27 points. And now the game would be rounding up pretty soon. It's going to be a bit difficult now for Dobra to play out, but he's, with the blank tile, he's still going to squeeze out some points on this board. Yeah, I think he's gone in his bank a bit too early. NIE could have played underneath the QI for like 23 points. He's still retaining the bank, but I think he went for PIU. And then Momin playing out with Leno for 6 points, and would have the final scores to be Dobra's 443 to Mumin's 381. And players waste no time squaring up the tiles. It's game 2 out of 18 games to be played today. Mumin just has to shake this off while Dobra can pat himself on the back, just focus on the next game coming up. So very well played by both players. I mean, from the very first move, I was already adjusting my seats knowing we're in for quite a ride, with Zohari scoring 102 points. We'll be having round 3 on your screens very soon. And hopefully we'll be having my co-commentator, Coin Salasaki, on screen. Sorry, not on screen, with me here in the commentary booth rather, after before the start of next round. Please don't go anywhere. We will be back very soon. This is Scrabble Events TV. Hi everyone. It's Exomi. We're back here, and I'm sure we have Coin Solar now in the commentary booth with us. Can you say hi to the viewers, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Coinsola here. It's wonderful to be joining. Yes, I can't wait to see some exciting Scrabble today.
Yep, we had a pretty interesting round two. Dobra going against Momain, and I'm sorry that I've said this a couple of times for anyone listening, but the first move there just had me really excited of Zoaria scoring 102 points. And we are seeing something a bit similar here. with Rex starting pretty strong with HER and AL Blanc playing Hernial for, I believe, 76 points. What are you looking forward to in this matchup against these two warheads?
I mean, these two players are, you know, wonderful players, and yeah, this is the masters category, so I expect to see an amazing display of word power.
Yes, indeed. Tega is known for, spotting every bingo there is to see, from the most obscure to the simplest of them, and is known to have a strength in the sevens and the eights. Never hardly ever missing an eight-letter bingo, and here is going for earlobes. I mean, apologies that I probably went a bit ahead of myself there. But I'm sure you most likely spotted real base to H in hernial and probably just opted for a much safer option of earlobes. But I sincerely doubt that Tega would have missed the higher scoring opportunity there of real base. So do you think this was just maybe him being defensive or probably just a miss?
Yeah, I could say it was being defensive. I mean, the difference between both plays is about 6 points if I'm not mistaken. So, and I think it's still early on in the game, so maybe it's being defensive. Although some players would opt to be, more aggressive in the beginning of the game, trying to open up the board and see what goes.
Yeah, very true. I think it's just too early to be opening up very unnecessary lanes. Well, I think it just depends on the style of each player. Either move there would have been fine, and things might be slowing down a bit here. I was hoping we would see maybe four bingos back to back, but I mean, if wishes were horses. Um, GOOTNE for Rex. No bingos for him on this turn. Any options you think he might be looking at?
I mean, he has, 1 point styles that, really yield bingos. So it might be looking to do maybe something like GOO, right atop Ernial, keeping NATE. I think that scores 13. Yeah, just doing that and hoping to pick something that would yield a bingo next turn.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. GOO retaining ATNE, and there are countless floaters on the board. I think something I might, I don't know, be a bit biased towards is this is probably bad. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm saying this, but NG just looks too tempting. Maybe like AGE bingos. So maybe something like OOT next to OBE in earlobes for 16 points with any AGE. And I mean, it could, I admit, it could go dangerously wrong from there. You could draw into WV something and you don't have a bingo. But I mean, I guess I'm just a little bit biased towards the NG combination.
I mean, looking at the state of the board, yeah, I think I don't see anything too wrong with that, especially because your opponents might not even be looking in that direction. So retaining the G, you know, would be fine because of the N. But like you said, it could actually go wrong from there. Um, yeah.
Yep, we see Rex here could care less about trying to balance the styles or whatnot. He's saying, so hell with what you guys are saying there in the commentary booth. I'm going for Genoa Spain 21 points. If the board is wide open, I want to pick the juices in the back, the X, the J, and all that. And Genoa actually sets up scoring opportunities atop it for easily scoring 30 or 40 points if you have the right tiles. But I guess Rex here is just more focused on scoring as much as he can and playing out more tiles. And real quick, I see Enoch Kunwali in the charts, our very own African champion, spotting the real base move that Tega could have played in the first turn. I mean, we still don't know if it was a miss or it was a deliberate choice just to be a bit more defensive. But yeah, that's that. Now TLTLD. I'm seeing some um lag there on stream. Apologies if we're a bit behind. I think he has gone for Etude. Any thoughts on this turn? I think it sets up some back hooks.
Right. The lag is really affecting here. So um I think the setup for Etude could go very wrong because if your opponent has decay, it could score well over 40 points over there. So I think that was a very risky play from him.
Yep, Etude takes countless front hooks instead. F, K, M, N, P, and S. And in the unlikeliest of things, Rex doesn't actually have the perfect tile to plunk down there. I mean, he has the blank, obviously, but no one would be wasting that blank tile just to hook Etude with something. So yeah, I guess it's that's WOOMET now for Rex. Any bingos for him on this turn?
Yeah, it could play two sums, through the S in earlobes, scores 82, or playing to the S, two sums as well. But like that's all he has to play. Or two sum right above Etude, which scores 80 points as well.
Yeah, we see he has gone for okay. He has lined up two sums, so he has spotted it. And I think he would be playing this atop Etude. This is a bit scary, putting out that thing in space for your triple. But Susum is not the kind of word you're 100% sure if it takes the S. It's you need to be very, very sure if it does. And he's just trying to play it as safe as possible. He has spotted it Susum, so might as well just take your 80 points and move on.
Indeed, I mean, it's just a 2 point sacrifice. So there's no need to take a gamble if you're not 100% sure, especially when you get to bingo somewhere else for almost as high.
Yep, that's right. And I'm surprised Tega has not played his bingo. I'm going to make a very dry joke here, but it has soulmates to the E in earlobes. And I mean, if my memory serves me right, he recently just got married to his soulmate. So I'm surprised he has not spotted this very quickly. Aside the fact that
Ah,
obviously he's
yes.
a very strong player.
Yeah.
So would we be seeing a miss of soulmate here from Tiger? I'm sure he knows there has to be something. The board is pretty open. You would want to think of words maybe starting with OUT or ending with OUT. And given the
I
right
mean, as it is,
floaters, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to point out that he arranged his cards like he, spotted
They should,
soulmate.
and things are getting. Wait, has he? I'm sorry, I'm a bit behind here. I think Coin should probably take over catch up with the stream.
There's a lag, but yes, indeed, he too we can see. So maybe played something like rewax, to the W of two sum. That scores 62, highest point. So I think it makes sense. I think that was the movie made. Apologies for the lag there. Technical team is trying to sort the problem as soon as possible. Right, and we see Tega play Thein from his rack of Theindue. That scores 38, um, leaving DU on his rack. Like I said earlier in the game, the spot of Etude is still very open for um, Rex to play there, and he has drawn the K. So be okay for 42 could be what he would be looking at, although that leaves ADGII, not the most convenient rack, but a lot. Something like Cade, I see he has Cade arranged. If you're wondering where that would be, play right underneath. So right, and we're seeing a bingo come down from Tega, Toupeed for 78. So current scores should be 275 to 268 if I'm correct. The scores would be updated pretty soon. All right, waiting to see what Rex has drawn. Bigidin. Wow, three eyes. Sticky situation. Um, Looks like Rex has found himself in a bit of a sticky situation. Although he has biking, yeah, playing biking now for 39, leaving DI. Looks like that worked out pretty well for him. Yes, welcome back, Excel. Yes, I can hear you. Right. It worked out pretty well for him. In some cases, it will take him like two or three turns to, get himself out of that sticky situation. Avianze01 in the chat, thank you so much. We're so happy to have you here. Excel, what do you have to say? Right. I mean, like I said earlier, this is the masters category. So, um, optimal moves only, top plays only, no suboptimal moves. They are showing us why they are indeed master players. Yes, I think he was a C. Yes, that would be Kuf for 40. That's a lot of points, if you ask me. Right. I think this is one of those games where um it all boils down to the end game, who draws what tiles at the end game, who is able to finish first, because this game is really neck and neck. Yeah, I mean UEY scores 31, which is just 11 points, less, although it doesn't, give back much to your opponent, and you still get to keep the Z. So I think UEY is a beautiful play. I mean, three eyes, the V, the J. Yeah, I think he's going to take a little bit of time on this turn because he has to think, does he want to play the J now? If he does, he would probably do something like JIB to the B of earlobes, or AJI right atop two-peed, which is very, very risky. Or would he just play, DIV, that would open the triple lane. It's not an easy decision, this next turn. It's going to be quite interesting to see what he ends up doing. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense keeping JAI, unless your opponent has, something to punish that move with, maybe playing a triple triple. I think DIVI is a good move. He really did not have any easy moves last turn. So, Yeah, Zari for 39 or Nazir for 42. So he would be scoring a buttload of points this turn. Exactly, yeah, he doesn't quite play. And looking over to Rex's, rack, even after Nazir for 42, Rex has, about 46 or 48 points next turn. So drawing the queue would be very, very could be very detrimental for Tega. Playing Zari is sacrificing 3 points, which I don't think, is so much to sacrifice, especially when you do not want to draw the queue. So I think playing Zari would be slightly better, except it's really Scrabble and you could play one tile and then draw the queue. So you really never can tell. Right. Yes, indeed. You never can tell what, can happen. Same with this game, it could go anyway, even up until the last move. Right. I think that's the advantage of, playing very fast early on in the game. So you have as much time as possible to really think about your moves in the end game. And it looks like Tega is playing Nazir for 42. Interesting. And Tega did not draw the Q. You see, that's what I was saying about Scrabble. I mean, you could, play four tiles and end up not drawing the Q, play one tile and you end up drawing the Q. I'm really curious to see who draws the Q at this point. Right. But would you rather him play Sigil or Soldier, and why? Right. I was also thinking, what Josh was thinking, save the eye. Like we said, Scrabble, like we keep saying, Scrabble is really unpredictable. You would think, oh yeah, two eyes in the bag, I should be able to draw one. But then what if you draw the Q, you don't draw the U, and you don't draw either of the two eyes? What happens then? Yes, I do. I do understand what you're saying. Yeah, I think Paul should be the move here. I mean, your opponent playing Sigil at a very crucial point in the game could only mean that he does in fact have the second S. So playing Paul to, take out that spot. I mean, if you're going to lose, you should not lose with, so much. So yes, Paul 44 scores pretty well. I think that would tie the scores. Right. I really hope we're able to fix, whatever issue there is, so we can have you back in the commentary booth. But yes, 3 minutes on the clock for both players. 427, 383. Playing, Paul 44 would tie the scores. Rex from his earlier leave of GAS went into the bag and drew, the Q, the U, and the I, as well as the V. And it looks like Tega is not looking to play Paul, is looking to play Folia instead. Quite interesting. Wow, I'm really trying to understand. Okay, I see Josh saying he's trying to protect himself if he draws the Q, but this just loses everything, right? I think playing Paul should be the move, or at least four. And it has foul arranged with about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is interesting. Probably trying to retain the eye. I mean, Paul would also retain the eye just in case he draws the Q. Right, and he has played Farl, Farl for 39. QUIN for Rex, QUIN to the N of Nazirs, or maybe QIS and Nazirs for 29. Yeah, tiles out, and it looks like Rex might just, be sealing this. I think this was a pretty interesting game right from, the beginning. Hernial, then earlobes, and then we saw Genoa and the play of Etold, which was a very risky play, and that spot would later on score 40 points. Kuf. Yes, beautiful play from both players. Rewax for 62, which was not a bingo but scored really high. Yes, I think both players played very exceptionally well during this turn. And we're going to be seeing GUQIN come down to the N of Naziros for 16, leaving VAS. Going for a two-move finish. Beautiful, beautiful play down be the end of the game. This was a pretty interesting game. Yes, keeping the W meant that Tega would not be able to finish. I mean, Paul would have been the move. Maybe things would have gone, in a different direction after that. But hey, wonderful plays from both of them. Yeah, Scrabble happens. Scrabble really does happen. So we should be seeing WOP come down. I mean, that's the highest he could score from this rack, 34, which will take him to 456. but it would not be enough as Rex would finish with Javas, and that would be the end. Yeah, whoop, 34. Then Javas should come down now. All right, looks like he's playing VAS instead for 23. This is round three. Hopefully, by round four, we would have Excel back with me in the commentary booth. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please don't go anywhere. We'll have round four on your screens pretty soon.
Hello, is there anyone that can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Huge apologies for the delay. Just trying to. Yes, and let's try and see if we can catch up real quick. We saw an exchange from Godwin in the first turn, and then Very came down, then MOMI, then DUO. I am not missing anything, am I? Okay. So it's Godwin Victor playing here. And just a quick backstory. Samuel Adebola did win this championship last year in very, very impressive fashion. And I'm sure he's looking to defend this title. We can see he's on 2 wins already. I'm not quite sure how his round 3 game went, but he's looking like he's right on track. But Godwin Victor, who is no small fry, instead looking to make maybe an upset on this turn. C has really, really good tiles, opting for HIN, and somehow they're wasting no time going for QUAG. I seem to have a lot of catching up to do. Let's see if I can speed through this. Make sure I'm giving you guys up to date commentary on each move. DUO, HIN, then I believe Quag, making quite lovely overlaps there, scoring 41 points. Now it's ACEEIR blank. I believe he has 2 E's. Yep. There's only one bingo for him on this turn, which would be parallel to Ovary, looking mad, ORE, and MIC. That would be Jeez, I have a feeling I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. Desir or something like that. DCIARE. Scoring 78 points. It looks like there has to be some other bingos for him on this. Sure. I mean, at this stage, players of their caliber would be looking to play maybe a nine letter, the MA, the O, Yeah. Yep. Aside, I think the only thing we could say was an outright miss was Villains, Villeins, that could have been played by Victor starting with